When we talk about R&B and soul in the 80s, most people go straight to Motown label's legends. The Supremes, the Temptations, the Four Tops, and Marvin Gaye turning every groove into history. But beyond the Motown machine and Stax headliners, the decade was crowded with bands who burned just as bright for a moment, then slipped into the shadows. So let's dig deeper. Here are 12 underrated 80s R&B and soul bands you probably forgot existed.
You're all I need in my life. I don't need no one.
Number 12, Sky Y, Brooklyn's Groove Engineers. In the late 70s, a Brooklyn-based band called Sky Y carved out their own lane of funk, soul, and electro sparkle. By the early 80s, they were dropping hits like Call Me and Let's Celebrate. Signed to South Soul Records, Sky thrived in that sweet spot between disco's fading glow and the rise of boogie funk. Here's the twist. While they scored several R&B top 10s, mainstream radio didn't give them the same shine as Cameo or Lakeside. Yet their live shows were legendary. Often running past midnight with gritty guitar riffs blending into glossy synths. Close your eyes and picture it. You're in a roller rink in 1982, lights flashing, and Sky's harmonies bouncing across the hardwood. Their music kept people moving even when trends shifted. Though underrated, Sky's groove quietly shaped the soundscape of the decade. Number 11, Midnight Starr, the electro-funk visionaries.
It's the television center of this week's Top of the Pops. Let's kick off with Midnight Starr and headlines.
Coming out of Kentucky in the late 70s, Midnight Starr blended soulful harmonies with futuristic funk.
This is an emergency.
By 1983, their album No Parking on the Dance Floor had dance floors across America lit up with jams like Freakazoid. The fun fact? The band recorded that album at Solar Records, home to Shalimar and Dynasty. But Midnight Starr pushed harder into electronic textures, almost predicting the coming wave of synth-heavy R&B. Think about hearing Operator for the first time. The vocoder voices, the thumping bass line. It felt like outer space landed in your living room. Though often overshadowed by bigger solar acts, Midnight Starr was a band ahead of their time.
All over the world, it shook up men, women, boys, and girls. The headlines read, if you want to be rich.
And their influence? You can hear it echoed in later electro R&B and even early hip-hop. Number 10, The Deele, where Babyface learned to fly.
Body talk, talk, body to feet. Summer love is beautiful.
Before Kenneth Babyface Edmonds and L.A. Reid became titans of the industry, they were young dreamers in the Deele.
Cause I shake and party and rule my sexy body.
Formed in Cincinnati, the group scored hits like Body Talk and 2 occasions in the mid-80s. But here's the inside story. While the Deele never became Motown-level superstars, their sound, silky, romantic, and fresh, laid the blueprint for what Babyface would later perfect as a songwriter and producer. Imagine a slow dance in 85, the room dim, and 2 occasions spinning on the turntable. That mix of longing and sweetness still hits.
If I could be with you, only you can make it right.
Even though the group faded, their legacy became immortal through the careers they launched. Number 9, Atlantic Starr, the Soulful Chameleons.
Here we are, the two of us together.
Atlantic Starr started in the late 70s, but it was the 80s when they truly blossomed. Their big hits, Secret Lovers, and Always touched hearts worldwide.
Lovers, yeah, that's what we are. We shouldn't.
But many forget the group's versatility, shifting from funk anthems like Circles to tender ballads. A little trivia, the group had multiple lead singers over time, including Sharon Bryant and later Barbara Weathers. Which gave their sound a unique flexibility. But that also made it harder for them to hold a single identity in the spotlight. Still, their music was everywhere, from Quiet Storm radio late at night to roller rinks pumping their up-tempo cuts. Atlantic Starr may not always get the recognition today, but back then, they were delivering emotional soul in every form. Number 8, Surface, the Kings of Gentle Groove.
You can make me happy.
Surface was all about silky harmonies and slow jams. Best remembered for Shower Me With Your Love and Closer Than Friends. This trio carried the late 80s into the New Jack Swing era with elegance. Here's the kicker. Surface started as a behind-the-scenes songwriting team before stepping out as performers.
Shower me with the love I've been.
Their music, rich in layered vocals and tender lyrics, made them a wedding soundtrack favorite, even if the group itself never became a household name like New Edition.
You're all I need in my life. I don't need no one.
Picture it. Summer of '89, candles flickering, a cassette deck playing softly, and Surface melting every heart in the room. Their understated soul made them unforgettable for those who truly listened. Number 7, the S.O.S. Band, funk that stood the test of time.
It's the S.O.S. Band on the Soul Train with the big and everybody's showing up digging. It's called S.O.S.
Atlanta's S.O.S. Band burst onto the scene in 1980 with Take Your Time, Do It Right. And they never looked back. With a mix of horns, grooves, and strong female vocals, they were a party's secret weapon.
Seem to always listen.
But here's the turning point. When they teamed up with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis mid-decade, their sound evolved into something even sharper. Just Be Good to Me and The Finest became instant classics.
Oh, baby, you're the finest one for me.
For many, the memory of the S.O.S. Band is tied to community block parties, barbecues, and crowded dance floors. They weren't just background music. They were the soundtrack to connection. Though often left out of greatest lists, their influence on 80s R&B was undeniable.
Not the way I see.
If these underrated gems are jogging your memory, give this video a thumbs up. It helps us keep the soul alive. And don't go anywhere. We've still got 6 more forgotten treasures waiting for you. Number 6, Dynasty, Solar's unsung heroes.
Let's welcome Solar recording artist, Dynasty. Come on and give it to him.
Signed to Solar Records, Dynasty never reached the stardom of label mates Shalimar or The Whispers, but they quietly produced some of the slickest grooves of the 80s. Their track, I've Just Begun to Love You, is pure boogie bliss. Trivia? Dynasty was co-founded by producer Leon Silvers III, whose fingerprints were all over Solar's biggest hits. So, even if you didn't know the band, you felt their influence in countless other records. Picture the shimmer of sequins under disco lights, couples two-stepping to Dynasty's bass lines. They may not have topped every chart, but their music kept clubs alive deep into the night. Number 5, Champagne, Harlan's smooth export.
We should both be gone.
Not all soul came from the US. Champagne was a Dutch band that broke through internationally with How About Us?
People can hold it together. Last.
A tender ballad that climbed the charts in 1981. Surprising, right? A European group capturing the feel of Chicago-style soul. Their harmonies and instrumentation carried a warmth that crossed oceans. But after a few moderate hits, Champagne faded from mainstream memory. Still, anyone who slow danced to How About Us remembers the magic. The song remains a timeless dedication to love, even if the band's name doesn't always ring a bell today. Number 4, Mtume, Beyond Juicy Fruit.
Join us to do their latest single on the Epic label entitled Give It On Up. Let's get some hands together, gang, for Mtume.
James Mtume's band Mtume will forever be linked to Juicy Fruit.
Mtume and his juicy fruit affect your glands.
The 1983 slow jam that became one of the most sampled tracks in hip-hop history. But here's the thing, Mtume was much more than one song. Their blend of jazz, funk, and R&B carved a unique identity. Still, Juicy Fruit overshadowed their deeper catalog, leading many to forget the band behind the beat. Close your eyes and you can feel it. That simmering groove floating through late-night radio. And decades later, the track still pulses through rap and R&B. Proving Mtume's quiet but lasting power. Number 3, Lillo Thomas and Friends, the Almost Starr Collective.
It's entitled Your Love's Got a Hold on Me, and his name is Lillo.
Lillo Thomas was a sprinter-turned-singer who, alongside his bandmates in solo work, delivered gems like I Like the Way You Dance. Though mostly remembered for his solo name, his backing band and collaborators created a sound full of joy and romance. The trivia. Lillo once competed internationally as a track athlete before turning full-time to music. That determination carried over into the studio. But despite strong songs, chart dominance slipped away. Still, those who know his work remember a voice as smooth as velvet. He and his crew made the 80s soundtrack richer, even if they never reached superstardom. Number 2, Loose Ends, London's R&B pioneers.
Working their way from Croydon to success, let's welcome aboard the 620, performing their current chart buster, Hanging on a String, Loose Ends!
Loose Ends were among the first British soul bands to break big in the US, thanks to tracks like Hanging on a String, Contemplating. Their sleek production and moody grooves were unlike anything else at the time. What made them unique? They blended UK cool with American soul, producing a sound that was both streetwise and stylish. Still, despite chart success, their name often gets overlooked today. But anyone who remembers 1985 radio knows that Hanging on a String was inescapable. It was the anthem for late-night drives and quiet reflection. Loose Ends proved that soul was global. Number 1, the Dazz Band, Funk Meets Fire. Cleveland's own Dazz Band may be best remembered for their Grammy-winning hit Let It Whip. But this group had a catalog full of party starters. Funk, soul, and high-energy stage shows defined their style. here's the twist. While Let It Whip was a monster hit in '82, their follow-ups like Joystick kept them moving, but never quite earned equal spotlight. That left the Dazz Band as a one big hit name in casual memory. But to true fans, they were the kings of live performance, blending jazz improvisation with funk fire. If you ever caught them live in the '80s, you know the truth. The Dazz Band was far from one-hit wonders. They were the heartbeat of 1,000 dance floors. From roller rink grooves to quiet storm ballads, these 12 bands proved the '80s soul scene was deeper than the hits we always hear. Hidden treasures like Dynasty, Loose Ends, and Champagne remind us that R&B's legacy is built not just on giants, but also on dreamers who kept the groove alive. Thanks for joining us on this soul stroll through forgotten greatness. Subscribe to keep the groove alive and never miss our next stroll. And if you're ready for the next chapter, click on our video about the unforgettable R&B hits of 1981. It's waiting on the end screen right now.